Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this online lecture series. This is your teacher, Neha Pradeep Joshi. In previous in previous video, we have already completed the discussion on the one act play by Lady Gregory, and the title of that one act play is The Rising of the Moon. We have thoroughly discussed the whole one act play, the important characters, the background, and everything. So, in this lecture, I'm going to discuss some important questions and some possible points that you can use while writing the answers. Okay, here on the screen right now, you can see an image. I have particularly chosen this image only because it showcases or it shows the actual setting of the play. Because remember, the whole action takes place at night. Okay, so that's why this image is very suggestive, or it represents the setting very well. Okay, so now let us just see what kind of questions can be asked uh, based on the rising of the moon. Okay, now first one is plot. Plot is what is the main story, or what is the main action. Okay, so first of all, this is like a summarizing the whole play. You don't have to write a detailed, lengthy answer. Just remember important actions and remember the sequence and write it down. That will be your answer for the plot of The Rising of the Moon. Here are some points that you should definitely mention while writing the answer. काय होतं आहे स्टोरीमध्ये सुरुवातीपासून शेवटपर्यंत, जस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट इव्हेंट्स, नॉट एव्हरीथिंग. ओके, नॉर्मली आपण जशी स्टोरी सांगतो ना, इट इज जस्ट लाईक दॅट. प्लॉट इज बेसिकली द स्टोरी line of the whole text. Okay, so what is there in the play? There are two policemen and there is one sergeant. They are near the quay. They are searching for a person, and that person is a wanted guy, a revolutionary, a freedom fighter. Okay, and Ireland is shown under the British rule. So there is a foreign rule and there are people who are fighting for the freedom. Okay, so now they are putting a poster of that guy, and sergeant is keeping a watch all by himself. We have seen that he tells both the other policemen to go away and he is going to stay there all by himself. Then suddenly one rugged, poor ballad singer enters the scene. Rugged is what? Poor, who has the dressing is definitely poor, or shabby clothes and everything. That is काय म्हणू, गरीब दिसणारा, फाटके तुटके कपडे घातलेला. That is rugged, poor ballad singer enters the scene. Okay, so now there is entry of another important character. One important character is sergeant, second is the man. Okay, that man introduces himself as Jimmy Walsh, and he is a ballad singer. He says that I am a ballad singer. And then we have seen this already, that sergeant tells him to go away from that place, but the man refuses to leave the place. He keeps on having an interaction or a conversation with the sergeant. Okay, and he suddenly shifts the entire direction of the conversation towards the reality of Ireland, the revolutionary activities, the freedom struggle. Okay, and he starts to sing some songs. Those all songs are patriotic songs, and they somehow make the sergeant um realize what is actually happening around him, and through the songs the man is appealing to the sergeant not to side with the foreign rule but to side with his own people. Okay, and finally what happens, we have seen that the sergeant who is actually searching for the guy, when he realizes that ज्या रेव्होल्युशनरीला आपण शोधतो आहोत दॅट पर्सन इज राईट नेक्स्ट टू मी राईट नाव, बट instead of arresting the guy, he actually helps that guy to escape the place. Why? Because he also realizes in the end that it is a time to stand for Ireland instead of standing with the foreign British rule in Ireland. Okay, so this is the plot. Okay, even though the story is very big, you don't have to write each and everything, but remember the details and keep it short. All right, so this is one question that can be asked. Plot, comment on a plot of the rising of the moon. Okay, then next, सिग्निफिकन्स ऑफ द टायटल. ओके, आत्तापर्यंत आपण जी काही टेक्स्ट पाहिली होती, आय हॅव टोल्ड यू की कुठल्याही टेक्स्टचा टायटल काय आहे दॅट इज लाईक फर्स्ट इम्प्रेशन ऑफ द टेक्स्ट. देअरफोर यू नीड टू पे अटेन्शन and you have to give it a thought. What actually stands out when we read a title? Okay, now this title is also very well chosen. Okay, rising of the moon. Okay, and it is a homograph, or I consider it is that it is a homograph because rising, it can have two meanings, same spelling but different meaning. One rising is just like sunrise, there is a moonrise, which means coming up. सूर्योदय म्हणतो तसा चंद्रोदय. Coming up of the moon, that is one meaning, and second one is revolt or revolution. Okay, rising से हे दोन्ही अर्थ आहेत, एक तर कमिंग अप अँड सेकंड इज रिवोल्ट और रेव्होल्यूशन. And if you consider both these meanings apply in this context, in the title rising of the moon, setting आपलं नाईटचं आहे सगळं, so in that context also the meaning applies. And secondly, there is a background of actual revolt, so तोही meaning इथे apply होतो आहे. So you can comment that the title is very suggestive because it indicates the setting and it indicates the actual political background of the play. असं लिहिलं तरी well and good आहे. And then the rising of what? The moon. Okay, now don't consider moon just as a celestial body. Yeah, that is true. तो तर रेफरन्स आहेच बिकॉज इट इज अ नाईट सेटिंग, बट हिअर मून सिम्बलाइजेस नॅशनल आयडेंटिटी ऑफ आयर्लंड और फ्री आयर्लंड. Okay, so the rising of the moon is what? It is an indication of the actual freedom struggle or the revolt or the idea of liberty or the freedom of Ireland in the mind of Irish people. अशा अर्थाने सो दोन गोष्टींवरती कमेंट केली पाहिजे. वन इज रायझिंग अँड सेकंड इज मून. व्हॉट इज मून सिम्बोलायझिंग हिअर, इतकं कमेंट केलं तरी इनफ आहे. ओके, यू डोंट हॅव टू राईट दिस नाव, आय विल शेअर PDF विथ यू. ओके, जस्ट कीप दिस इन युअर माइंड. देन okay, now the next question. Here in this particular one act play there are two important characters. Okay, so a possible question can be a character sketch of a person, suppose a sergeant and then the man. So I am going to discuss both the character sketches with you. Okay, I am just giving you important points, you can add your own, but keep this in your mind, you don't have to write too lengthy answers over here. It is not at all expected. That will not be for the weightage of marks is not that much for these questions on one act play. So just remember the important points and mention them. If you write 4 to 5 sentences for each question, that is enough. Okay, so now let us see the first character sketch, the sergeant. Okay, so if you see that in this one act play, this character plays a very important role, or he is like the center of the action. Okay, both these characters, man and the sergeant, they are center of the action. All the action is done by them. Okay, so now how is the sergeant actually? When we see him in the beginning, he is a very dutiful person. Okay, he is very loyal, sincere and serious kind of guy. He is devoted towards his job, right? In the beginning we are able to understand this personality trait. Okay, but as the story goes forward, we can see that he is also a sensible guy. Okay, and he is not a corrupt guy. In the beginning he definitely wants a reward, but not for free. He is going to perform his duty, therefore he expects a reward in return. Okay, so in that sense he is incorrupt. Okay, and as the conversation between the sergeant and the man goes on, you can realize that the sergeant, who is सर्विंग द फॉरेन रूल, ब्रिटिशांसाठी नोकरी करतो आहे तो, बट दॅट गाय इज स्टिल अटॅच्ड टू हिज ओन रूट्स. So when the man mentions those ballads, okay, he definitely can feel them, he can relate with those songs. Okay, and as the story goes forward, the conversation continues. We can see that he accepts the reality. He can acknowledge that yes, people are not at all satisfied with this government, and they are right if they want a freedom, right? So this acceptance is there. And then finally, what we can comment is, even though the guy is serving a foreign rule, there is a presence of patriotic elements in his heart, and that's why in the end he actually helps the revolutionary to escape from that place. Okay, so you can use these points to talk about the sergeant. Okay, as he is important character, you should definitely mention all these points as well. Okay, and then the final, or the next character, next important character is the man. जसं सार्जंटचं आपण कॅरेक्टर स्केच पाहिलं तसंच आहे. मी इथे पॉईंट्स मेन्शन केले आहेत फक्त. यू कॅन मेक सेंटेन्सेस विथ इट. ओके, द मॅन. नाव द मॅन इज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू अस. हू इज दॅट मॅन? बेसिकली ही इज an escaped prisoner, a revolutionary, असं तुम्ही म्हणू शकता. दॅट आयडेंटिटी इज रिव्हिल्ड in the last part of the one act play, but as while writing the answer you can comment that the man is actually an escaped prisoner who is a revolutionary. Okay, now this person is definitely a patriotic guy, deshapremi, right? And he is adventurous revolutionary. Now why I call him adventurous, try to understand. When he sees that there are policemen over there, he can simply choose not to stay at that place to avoid any risk. But what does he do? He goes towards the sergeant. He actually starts talking with the sergeant, and somehow with all his excellent oratory and all those skills, he actually convinces the sergeant to see the reality. So that is adventure. He has taken a great risk, by standing there with the sergeant. Okay, त्यालाच शोधता आहेत ते लोक. अँड इफ ही डिसाइड्स दॅट आय एम गोइंग टू हॅव कॉन्व्हर्सेशन विथ दिस गाय अँड इफ आय एम गोइंग टू स्टे विथ हिम, then definitely that is a great risk that he has taken. Therefore he is an adventurous guy. Okay, then he is willing to take risk. Okay, त्याचा तिथे असणारा प्रेझेन्स itself shows that he is willing to take this risk. Okay, he is ready to interact with people. He is ready to have a conversation with them and to make them aware of his philosophy, of the reality of the Ireland, right? And then one important characteristic or feature of his personality is he possesses or he has great persuasive skills. बुकमध्ये सुद्धा हे मेन्शन केलेलं आहे. पर्सुएसिव्ह इज वॉट? वेन यू कन्व्हिन्स अ पर्सन टू ॲक्सेप्ट अ पर्टिक्युलर व्ह्यू. एखाद्याचं मन वळवणं किंवा एखाद्याला आपला विचार पटवून देणं, दॅट इज कॉल्ड पर्सुएशन. ओके, सो ही possesses great persuasive skills. ओके, while having a discussion with sergeant, तुम्हाला माहिती आहे इनिशियली द सार्जंट इज व्हेरी serious and loyal and dutiful guy who is serving a foreign rule, but in the end, after having conversation with the man, all his perception, all his thought process is definitely changed. And the reason for that is persuasive skills of the man. Okay, so the way he tried to convince the sergeant, that shows how effective his persuasive skills are. Okay, he comment करू शकता, that is an important point. And then last, the man, even though he is adventurous and he like a hero kind of a personality, he is good at heart. Okay, he is not too much strict, or he readily mixes with the people. He is good at heart and he knows how to treat people and how to handle the situation. कारण लक्षात घ्या, तो ज्या कंडिशनमध्ये होता, at that time you need great presence of mind to deal or to tackle the situation. But how beautifully he manages to do that, that shows that he has that capacity to lead the people or to be the leader. The qualities those are required, definitely the man possesses all those qualities. You can comment it in this way. Okay, so from exam perspective, if you complete all these questions, then that is enough at this level, because there are two types of questions based on one act play, but nothing will be more than for 2 marks. प्रत्येक क्वेश्चन 2 मार्कासाठीच असणार आहे. सो डू नॉट राईट लेंदी आन्सर्स. Remember important points and make at least 4 to 5 sentences as answer for each question, and that will be enough. So just go through these questions. 1, the plot of The Rising of the Moon. 2nd, significance of the title The Rising of the Moon. 3rd, character sketch of Sargent in this one act play. And 4th, character sketch of the man in this one act play. If you do these questions, then that is enough for this drama. I hope you have understood what I just said. If you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. So start writing answers for this now. And now here I declare that this one act play The Rising of the Moon is completed. Reading, discussion and question and answers all are completed now. In the next lectures, we are going to now focus more on writing skills. Okay, so let us meet in next lecture. go through this play once again and start studying from exam perspective. All the best for your preparation, and thank you for your attention.